This is a demonstration of the MTF MA from Pro Trading Indicators. The MTF MA, or multi-time frame moving average, is an indicator that lets you reference another time frame in your chart. That could be a higher time frame or a lower time frame, and it could also be another symbol. In this instance, we're looking at a 5-minute chart of Broadcom. On that chart, I've placed a 20-period simple moving average of the 30-minute time frame. So we've got the smaller time frame to trade off of and the 30-minute to either look at trend direction, or often when price reacts with the higher time frame, you see large moves away, sometimes consolidations and moves away. The reason why we developed this indicator is that so many traders like to reference other time frames while they're trading. Here's an example of a traditional technical analysis trade window setup. On the top left, I've got a weekly, to the right the daily, below that the 60-minute, and finally in the lower right the 5-minute. Looking at all these different charts throughout the day can be time-consuming and a little bit confusing sometimes. So instead of referencing them all on their own, we've put that all together in one indicator. Here's a reference of Amazon on the 15-minute with a 20-period moving average referencing the 60-minute. Another feature built into the indicator is trend direction shown as color. When the trend is up on the 60 here, the moving average goes green, and then when it goes down, it turns red. It's a great way to trade because, again, you get a reference to the higher time frame. You can see how often price will come down to this time frame reference, touch it, and move away. Nice way to time some of your trades. Does it again later here. A nice quick little hit onto the moving average and then quickly moves away. Our indicator works on stocks and futures and also Forex. Here's an example of the British pound US dollar currency pair on the 60-minute chart with a weekly SMA reference on it, and another way to just sort of see when price is interacting with the weekly moving average, how it moves away from it, and how it's a good way to sort of time your trades as well. You can also reference more than one symbol at a time. Right here we're looking at the British pound US dollar currency pair on a 15-minute chart, but we're referencing a 30-minute chart and the 20-period moving average of that. So that's what this line is below price. And we're also looking at, we have a reference of the Euro US dollar currency pair, 20-period moving average off of a 30-minute chart. So another way to sort of see if your markets are correlating or watch more than one market at the same time. You can also do the opposite and have a higher time frame on your chart and reference a lower time frame. Here we've got a 15-minute chart of Apple referencing a 5-minute time frame of this moving average right here. And it's also important to see that it works on tick charts. This is a 500 tick chart with a 2500 tick chart reference of the 20-period moving average on that. You can also mix tick data and minute data. Right now we're looking at Apple on the 500 tick bar chart, but referenced in the moving average is a 5-minute 20-period simple moving average. So I love to trade tick bar charts, but it's also great to know where the 5-minute traders are, and they often react to the 20-period moving average. So you can see that happening all over here. So great to make your entries on the tick bar, but also reference the 5-minute time frame. Here's a few more examples of charts that I use. I trade the S&P E-mini futures, usually on a 1500 tick bar chart. And on this chart I've also got the 5-minute 20-period simple moving average. It's always great to know where the 5-minute time frame traders are and when they're going to react with a common moving average. So this is helpful as I make my entries. I look for consolidations and then breakouts. So as I make my entries, I like to be aware of where the 5-minute guys are going to start seeing moving averages and possibly react to them. In this case, a good place to exit. Another chart I like to use, I like to trade oil on range bar charts. And again, it's always great to know where the 5-minute traders are. So this is a reference of the 5-minute 20-period simple moving average. And you can see price reacts to it. These guys look at these averages, and it's nice to know when you're on another time frame what the larger time frames or what the more common time frames are looking at. Let's take a minute now and look over the inputs. Once you've imported the indicator, to get to the different inputs, you just right-click on your chart and select Format Analysis Technique. That brings up this window that has your techniques in it, and you simply click on the indicator and click on Format. You've got a series of inputs here. The first one is to select what type of moving average it is. 1 will be a simple moving average, 2 for exponential moving average, and 3 for weighted moving average. Next choice is the length, look back length on your moving average. Right here would be a 20-period moving average. And now we can select either tick, minute, day, week, or monthly charts to reference. That's what this number will be in here, 1 through 5. And the bar interval for that. So if you want a 5-minute bar or a 50-tick chart, you just put that data in this window. And here is where you can insert a different symbol. If you're just using the symbol on the chart, you leave it alone. If you want to insert a different symbol, you have to hit the quotation mark, open quote, and another symbol, and then end quotation. And that allows you to reference a different symbol entirely. The next input is if for some reason the indicator isn't loading properly, you can set this to either -1 or 10 and it'll load. It just has to do with how TradeStation uses arrays. So I've actually never ran into one that doesn't load up, but that's just a backup option if it doesn't. Down here you can turn off the color feature on the indicator, so 0 is off, 1 is on. And here the last two inputs are the direction for the color. So if you've got an uptrend, right now it's green, you can make it any color you want. Downtrend is now red, but you can make that any color you want as well. I'm just going to go over a few more examples. Here's an unusual way to use this indicator. What I've done is plot several moving averages on my 5-minute chart. So a 5-minute chart of the Russell Futures. On here I've got a 15-minute simple moving average, a 20-period simple moving average on the 15-minute time frame, on the 30-minute, on the 60, and on the 2-hour. And one thing I notice is that when these time frames start to consolidate and overlap each other, you tend to get a large move out of that. This would be a bit early to be trading. This is 6 a.m. New York time, but as market opens right around 9:30, you can see that they've been playing around these lines for a little bit of time, and then price shot away from there. That happens all the time. Whenever you see these things crossing over each other and they're all grouped together, it's a good cue to pay attention and look for a breakout. You don't have to put it over price if you've got too much information over your price and you just rather have it simpler. Sometimes I put them below price data, and then you can just reference, when the time frames are starting to converge and pay attention to what's going on. It's also nice to use this indicator with the Darvis box, because then you're looking at the different breakout areas and just a visual reference of looking for the move to go forward again. Well, we hope you've enjoyed learning about the MTF MA, the multi-time frame moving average from Pro Trading Indicators, and that you find it useful in your trading.